going on, guys? Happy 420. It's April 20th today. I hope you're celebrating however you like to celebrate. Hope you're enjoying the NBA playoffs and the Ben Simmons, Jared Dudley feud going on. What else is going on in the world? Notre Dame burned down. Sad. I've never been there. But yeah, just wanted to hop on live today to talk about paternity leave, benefits of paternity leave, and some thoughts that I'm having here. A quick background, and then I'll get into the meat. We just had our daughter about 6 months ago, and we're in California, so we get to enjoy PFL, paid family leave, which is a benefit by the state of California. So if you're aware of that, good for you. Hope you can take it. And if you're a new dad and expecting, basically get 6 weeks of paid time off by the state. So take advantage of it. But when Zoe was born 6 months ago, I took 2 weeks off, and I'm going to take advantage of the other 4 weeks starting on Monday. So looking forward to that. Just wanted to share some thoughts with you about, because there's this huge, I'm in a lot of dad circles, so there's a lot of debate about, is paid family leave for dads, is paternity leave important? Should dads take it? And it's very split, right? Very split down the middle. There's this one camp is we never had pat leave when we were growing up, so why should you, get back to work kind of thing, put your head down, go to work, which is, it's that's one way to look at things. It's like you prioritize work and all of that, and that's good for you. Then, sorry for the box there, I shouldn't have zoomed in. Then there's this other camp, right, where it's you're only going to have your baby once, they're only going to be this young once, and you should take time off because work is always going to be there. If the company really needs someone to get the job done, they'll find someone to get the job done. This attitude that you're replaceable, right, at the company. Sorry, I kind of mixed that up. The idea that you're replaceable will kind of go with the first camp of people, right? Oh, you're gonna take time off. Well, screw that. You're costing the company money and all of this stuff. So, anyways, those are all very general sentiments, but I was sitting at work yesterday, Friday, my last day before paternity leave, and had 6 thoughts run through my mind. So I wanted to share those 6 thoughts, and the hope is that maybe you can resonate with some of them, and maybe it'll, if you're trying to think about oh, should I take 6 weeks or just 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, maybe it'll resonate and help you make a decision one way or the other. So the first sentiment is, you know what, I'm going to take this time off, and it's great, and technically I'm not supposed to do any work, but the work is going to be due anyways come a certain deadline. So you know what, I might as well just work through my paternity leave, or work and not take paternity leave, right? It's I have a deadline June 1st, let's say, and I'm going to be held to that whether I take time off or not. So what's the point, right? Might as well just go to work, or might as well just work through pat leave. I'm going to be at home, changing diapers, burping, feeding, running around, and, how much is my kid really going to remember, So that's kind of something that crossed my mind. All right. Number 2 is, if I take paternity leave, my team and my company is going to fall behind. It's a dog-eat-dog world. People are working 24/7. If I'm sleeping or resting, other people are, working and getting ahead. So I might as well not take time off, just stick with it. What is, 6 weeks in the course of 30 years? No one's going to remember it kind of thing. So why take pat leave? That's the second sentiment. The third sentiment is, Similar, it's more personal. It's like maybe my team or my boss will take a hit if I take so much time off. It's like, what is Jonathan like thinking he could just take time off like that because he had a new kid, and so those three things I think all fall in the category of, perhaps you have an inflated ego, maybe. You know, I mean, what's to say that, like, can you just tell your boss or your company, like, hey, you know what? I'm having a kid and this is the only time I can have bonding time with the kid. Like, they're never going to be this young. Um, can we push deadlines back? Like, I mean, who's to say that your work and your deadline will make or break the company? Like, I mean, maybe it will, right? But I don't know. It's just something to think about. Um, yeah, so I'm going to take a pause here. Maybe you can comment down below if any of those thoughts resonate with you or if that spurs anything else. I'm going to do a quick audience check, see who's hanging out here. We got one person hanging out here. What's up, man? Or woman. I don't know who you are. But if you get a chance, just drop a line, say hi. If you can figure out this chat thing, um, I'll be grateful for that. Thanks for hanging out. I just realized I didn't change the title of this. It says controlling your toddler. So if that's why you joined, very sorry. We're talking about benefits of paternity leave. Also, when I turned my head, I saw this shirt here, Dad Ventures. When I was at Dad Summit 2.0, Dad 2.0 Summit, I met this guy named Steve or Steven. He's down in the Pasadena area, and he's he went to film school, and we just had a good connection. And he has a company now called Dad Ventures. If you're a dad looking for things to do in I think he started with Pasadena. So if you're in the LA area looking for things to do with your kids, go to dadventures.com and go check it out. He didn't pay me. He didn't tell me to do that. I just think he's a great guy. So let's get into the second set. And so I started with, maybe you have too big of an ego. The next kind of set is maybe you have too small of an ego and you should value yourself more. Just throw that out there. So the first one is, this reputation thing. Again, it's reputation, but maybe you think that if you take some time off, people will think you're a slacker and you're weak. And, it's like, dude, we're all out here working hard and this guy just had a kid and he's just like milking it, he's like taking advantage of the government system and all of that. And if that causes you to not take time off, I don't know. I would urge you to rethink that, because the time with your baby is priceless. It's precious. You can't take it back. So maybe you don't. I don't know. Like, don't not take time off because of that. The next one is same thing. My work isn't important, or maybe you have a fear that this thought crossed my mind. What if like I leave for 4 weeks and the company does just fine without me, which it will, but what if they're like, oh, like we did fine without Jonathan. Why do we pay him again? Why is he here? Can we just keep going on without him? Without his salary, without what he does. So that might be a fear too, and it crossed my mind for sure. But luckily, give yourself more credit. It's like, what you do is important to the company. Otherwise, they would have probably told you before or earlier that like, hey, we don't need your services anymore. They would have dismissed you already, I think. So don't let that stop you. And then the last sentiment is, it's a tough one. So I had a friend who just had a kid. I think the baby is, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks, less than a month for sure. And he works at this, huge tech company, very well known. And he was, because it's a huge tech company, he had the choice between 3 or 6 months. And, the point is his hesitation to take pat leave or take as much time off was that he's at a good place in his career. He's at a good position in his company. He's doing a cool, cutting edge project, and that was his idea. And he didn't want to, in 3 or 6 months, come back and have someone else be driving that project, right? His pet baby that he thought of and worked on for so hard, for so long, But I was talking to him, and at some point he was like, you know what? If I come back and that project is gone, and I'm not working on it anymore, that's fine. Again, I'll never have this time again with a newborn, right? So I guess I'm biased, but take time off. At least take 2-3 weeks if you can. If you're in California, definitely try to take the 6 weeks. If you're not in a place to take paternity leave, as in your state doesn't fund it, or you just don't have the means, if you can't do it, you can't do it, but I hope you can. Dove, not the Dove company, but Dove, the soap. They do more than soap. They do, hair products and all of this stuff. But specifically the brand Dove Men Plus Care, they are sponsoring dads. I forget the exact number, but it's a huge number. I want to say it's in the millions for sure. They are paying $5,000 for dads to be able to take paternity leave, because it's a pledge, right? So if you go on Twitter or Instagram, I think it's #paternity leave pledge, or if you just if you Google Dove Men Plus Care paternity leave, it'll show up. But if you don't qualify, if your company doesn't sponsor it, if your state doesn't sponsor it, check out Dove Men Plus Care, because I think you have to apply for sure, but they're giving $5,000 for new dads to take paternity leave. So consider that an option. And that's about it. So still got one person watching. What's up? I appreciate your support. So what I wanted to do, we're going to Japan here. Sorry for this little transition, but we're going to Japan. So super fortunate to be going to Japan. That's how I decided to do my paternity leave. But we've got packing going on here. So I've got all my gear. Got this gimbal here. Got this GoPro. This little voice recorder thing, drone. Just gonna enjoy. Definitely a lot of benefits in paternity leave. From bonding with your kid to, just even from a career standpoint, it's like you take time off and it seems like you're being a slacker, but you come back with so much inspiration, motivation, energy, even goodwill for your company, because, we're all subject to the reciprocity effect, right? If someone gives you something, you feel like you need to give back, right? If the company gives you time off, I feel like I need to do better for the company, right? It motivates me anyways. So I think you're better for it, I think you're better for taking the time off. You're bonded with your kid, become more appreciative. So, if at all possible, just take the time off. And I got to show you guys something. This rarely happens when both kids are sleeping at the same time, and this is how I'm choosing to spend my time. That should tell you something about how much I value this channel. But anyways, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna stop talking. If you watch this video for the paternity leave stuff, feel free to click off. But both my kids are sleeping, and it's rare that this happens, and I just want to get that on tape. So hope you enjoy the next little segment. Yeah. come on, 2 sleeping kids at the same time. That's got to be a good omen for this pat leave coming up. Thanks for joining me. If hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you're a new and expectant dad, you're gonna want to hit the subscribe button because I always talk about and want to support new and expectant dads, dads specifically with kids ages 0 to 5. This is kind of the phase where you might be the first in your group of friends who have kids, and maybe all your other friends don't have kids yet, and you're just kind of like, dude, are these things that I'm going through normal? If that's you, you'll want to hit subscribe because you want to keep following this channel. A lot of the stuff, it's an interesting time in a new dad's life, for sure. The period where, your kids aren't necessarily in school yet, so you don't have your tribe, you're not, you don't have dad friends just yet. It's kind of a weird stage. And anybody with a soft spot for new dads, maybe you're the spouse or the partner of a new dad and you want to know kind of what they're going through, you can get a lot of insight from this channel. So if you're into that kind of thing, consider subscribing. If this video was helpful for you, hit the thumbs up button below. That'll help me, it'll help the channel. It'll help spread the word out. And I always like to say, make it a great day. Lots of crap can happen to you out there. Lots of crap. You can't control what people say or do to you or tell you. Sometimes it's negative. But you always have the power to make it a great day. So go make it a great day. Enjoy 420, whatever that means to you. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.